making it like $90. She goes, and what?
Thank you, ma'am. One guy? Okay.
Could pay it.
Members to their seats. Welcome. I'm calling to order the April 23rd public hearing, the Common Council. The time is now 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Good evening, sir. McNamara.
Present.
Smedley.
Present.
Beloit Savitra.
Here.
Simpson.
Here.
Russell. Barbosa. McAdam. Gibson. Scott.
Here.
Connors. Malinowski. Babon. Santiago. Sanchez. You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would you please read into the record the notice of the public hearing?
Mr. Chair,
Alderwoman Beloit Saavedra.
I make a motion to waive the reading.
Second by Ms. Smedley and Mr. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Vote. Now proceed. Having been noticed properly, we will begin the public hearing. Please remember to state your name and address for the record and limit your speaking time to 3 minutes. The items for this public hearing are as follows. Item 36442-1, to act upon the resolution regarding the general fund budget for the fiscal year 24-25. Item 36443-1, to act upon a resolution regarding the special revenue funds and enterprise funds budget for fiscal year 24-25. And item 36444-1, to act upon a resolution regarding the budget appropriation for capital improvements for the fiscal year 24-25. I'm going to call from the list and then open to anyone who has not signed up to speak and check if there are any remote callers. And the first name I have on the list is Mr. Frank Chase. Welcome, Frank.
Okay, thank you. Frank Chase, 24 Roxbury Road, New Britain, Connecticut. Part 1 is tonight, and Part 2 will be tomorrow night. We find it suspicious that the present mayor, after 10 years in office, her chief of staff, and the city clerk all failed to follow the proper protocols covering a proposed money transfer of this kind, Resolution 36236. You all have it in front of you, and you all received it via email from me yesterday. They did this without any input from the Director of Finance. There seems to be a failure to communicate and a serious misrepresentation of the facts. Just weeks before Election Day 2023, it seems that the mayor and her chief of staff perpetrated a disingenuous act to gain an unfair and/or a dishonest advantage over the voters in Ward 4. As victims in this storm sewer flooding fiasco, we must question the mayor's motives and intentions. The record is clear. The required Allen Street project has been ignored, neglected, and mismanaged by our city officials for decades, including 10 years under the Aaron Stewart watch. The proposed fiscal year 2024 budget does not mention this $4 million from Resolution 36236. Therefore, we must conclude that Aaron was unaware of this error in her judgment, which caused him to question her core values and operating methods. After all, she did sign off on this resolution along with the city clerk. It seems we were all deceived and manipulated by the mayor. Meanwhile, the flooding will continue. For the past 30 years, city officials have underestimated and misjudged the dangerous conditions created by climate change and the resulting severe weather, while ignoring and neglecting the required storm sewer upgrades on Allen Street. Taxpayers vote for and ask our city officials to keep us safe and to ensure our quality of life. Our neighborhood block and property resembles a third world country during these flooding events because of an outdated, undersized, deteriorating storm sewer system. All of our city officials, past and present, are responsible for this ongoing fiasco. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. I have no more names on the list. I would invite any other speaker to come up and address the budget for 24-25. Any other speakers? Name and address, and 3 minutes is yours.
Maribel Rodriguez, 7 Donald Terrace in Waterbury. Good evening, members of the council. My name is Maribel, as many of you guys know, the daughter of Catherine Colon, here to express my severe concerns with the city budget and proposed increase on the salary of the killer cop, Connor Wrench. It disgusts me yet again that the city is disregarding our family's grief and overall community needs by increasing his salary. It could have been any of you guys, community members. The action the officer took that night took my mother's life, and instead you guys are rewarding him. He should not be rewarded with a pay raise. It was no accident, and he was excessively speeding without his lights or sirens on and not paying attention to the road. Clearly, you guys need to be reminded of this. So when will the city start actually listening to the families impacted? We need accountability, not an increase on his salary when there's so much more needs in the city. It shows that the mayor and council has no regard for humanity, only protection for herself and those that follow her. Our family demands that he be held accountable and fired for not following state traffic laws. And how do you all city council members ask fellow citizens to follow laws when your officers don't do the same? As quoted in the state report, he was in violation of statute 14-218A and contributed to her death. The city wants to turn a blind eye to his actions, but the truth is stated in the report. He is liable for the death of Catherine Colon, and instead the city is giving him a raise in the city budget. Our family demands that he be fired and that his salary be allocated towards actual community needs like housing, education, and jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. I invite anybody else to the podium on the budget. Thank you.
My name is Denaya Sawyer, 32 Skipper Street, New Britain. My name is Denaya.
Could you repeat that, please?
Oh, my name is Denaya Sawyer. I live at 32 Skipper Street, New Britain. Yeah. I'm Catherine Colon's youngest daughter. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time. The biggest point of me being here today is to express my concern about the fact that the man who took my mother's life still has his job, but on top of that is getting a pay raise. I demand that the city call for Officer Connor Wrench to be fired and relocate his salary to other resources that we need in the community, like housing and education system. I want to emphasize right now that the city will not silence us. I will not allow the city to silence us. I'll stand here with 100 people behind me, 5 people behind me. I really do not care. So in Catherine's name, I'm going to continue to come here and say the same thing if I have to. I really don't care. And I'm just going to fight for her and fight for my community. Thank you.
Thank you. Another speaker who wants to address the city budget for next fiscal year.
Hello, my name is Patrick Thompson of 44 Birdie Farms Road and New Britain. So for this budget season, I really would like to critique the mayor and her bloating of the mayor's office and their executive, the executive branch towards her office and how much money she's actually putting into it. The proposed budget for the mayor's office is $637,000, and it is an $11,000 increase from last budget, and is a 237% increase from 2014, and that is egregiously overbloated for the amount of work that needs to be done. She's only hired 2 of the 7 positions, so 5 are still vacant, including a city manager, which effectively gets paid over $150,000 for doing the mayor's job, which is governing and managing the city. I think that is a bloated waste to our budget, which could be going to schools, which has only increased 2% since 2014, and most of it, 55% of it, is actually funded by the state of the state program, not actual New Britain. Also, I would like to comment on the egregious over-policing budget. We've always been consistently over-bloating our police budget in New Britain. We have a failing school system which tests on the lowest and have some of the very, very worst, biggest classroom sizes and the worst performance. Yet we're putting funding towards SROs in our elementary school, which SROs effectively police children instead of educate them. You know, we treat them like criminals when in reality they are children who should be, you know, not disciplined with full extent of the law and taught with full extent of loving, caring teachers who should get paid properly and get good raises like the cops who do, where at least the teachers don't murder people. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Sorry. Another speaker on the budget for 24-25, on the budgets for 24-25. I'll do it twice. Any additional speaker for the budget? Welcome.
Hi, my name is Jillian Davey. I'm from Hartford, but I have many friends who live here in New Britain.
Can you state your address, please?
974 West Boulevard, Hartford.
Thank you.
I have many friends who live here in New Britain, and I'm here today to demand justice for Catherine Cologne. I think it is, one, the officer, as we know, was breaking the law. It is despicable that he still has his job here. And it is even more despicable that the city has proposed a budget that rewards him for killing an innocent woman. I'm asking you to, instead of increasing his budget for his salary, to actually reallocate his salary into much needed community services here in New Britain. There are many needs. There's needs for housing, there's needs for homeless support services, there's needs for education. So why are you spending so much money on a police officer who has killed a woman, who has faced no consequences whatsoever? I would like you to imagine that this is your family member who has been murdered, and there has been no accountability whatsoever. No accountability. Her family still has to keep coming back and demanding some kind of justice, some kind of accountability from you. How would you feel if that was your mother, if that was your daughter, if that was your aunt, if that was your sister? And every elected official and leader in the city did nothing. So please, fire Connor Wrench and reinvest the money from his salary into actual community services that will help this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speaker on the budget, 24-25, on our budgets for 24-25?
Hi, my name's Henry Alphonse. I live on 240 Clinton Street. The city should have a budget that reflects on where it wants to head in the future. So if you want to have like a society where you don't want to just have more police downtown, more police everywhere, you need to invest this money into more shelters, into more emergency rent support for residents, because everyone is having their rent increased by ridiculous portions that don't really reflect inflation or any of the costs that landlords are seeing. And I want the city to decrease the mayor's office budget and to decrease the corporation council budget. The city should reflect on the needs of the people, and that's where we need to just focus on. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other speakers?
John, for the record, can we just recognize that Alderman Santiago is here?
Thank you. I recognize that President Santiago is here and present. Another speaker on the 24-25 budget?
There's one other way currently. Can we wait like a minute? They're on the way, or
Well, the meeting, we will call speakers up as they come. Thanks, Mr. Thompson. All right. And the drill is I call out speakers 3 times. You can only speak once. And if there are no other speakers, we'll be closing the hearing. Any other speakers? Let me check remotely. All right, that's once, twice. Any other speakers? Any other speakers? Hearing none? Oh, I turned it off. Hearing no other speakers, I'm going to close the public hearing. Time is now 6:15. And let me just add that the council will be meeting in its subcommittees, taking up a budget discussion on April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd. These are special budget meetings, and all of you and everyone, all are welcome to attend and listen to the discussion. And that concludes the public hearing on the budget for 24-25.